What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got some nostalgia today. We got the Tiberon Prime in 2025. This thing used to be really strong like a few years ago, but in the current power crep 2025 meta we have nowadays, is it worth trying out or using? We'll be discussing that today. Before we get into this stuff though, make sure to sub this channel to daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, news videos, all that kind of stuff. Your right place for Warframe content. We'll be covering Caliban Prime launch on Tuesday and a bunch of the other stuff happening in the update as the week progresses. So you're in the right place for Warframe content, as I said. Alright, so Tiberon Prime. This thing is definitely not an Incarnon. It will probably never be an Incarnon because it has multiple fire modes. The Tiberon Prime is a burst rifle, but it actually has two other fire modes. A full auto mode and a semi-auto mode. But the one we'll use today is the burst mode because the Tiberon Prime has a special augment that only works on the burst mode. So, that being said, I don't think the augment's really worth using in the long run, so maybe we could actually talk about some replacements to that augment that only works in the burst mode. But yeah, as far as what it does, it is a single target weapon with this burst rifle. And as far as its stats, they're pretty decent. They're like hybrid stats. I can call them a little bit with a crit, a little bit with the status. But yeah, the burst nature of this allows you to put out lots of bullets quickly, allowing for easy procs and good damage. So let's hop into Simulacrum. We're getting like 20 million damage, 15 million damage to some of these hits, and they're red crits too. So as far as why we're getting red crits with the Tiberon Prime, where yours might not be getting them, we're actually using the special augment mod called Critical Precision. Now this comes from Nightwave. So if you don't have it, just wait for the Nightwave store to bring it around. But what it does is burst shot only. So like I said, this has three fire modes, but the burst one's the one that works on. Increases critical chance by 10%, up to 500%. Missing with all shots in a burst removes up to 100% of the bonus critical chance. So very annoying to use in practical missions. It's to be mainly focused for disruption missions, in my opinion, because the Demolish... And also, another funny part too. Demolish stay alive for longer, but funny part of this, enemies at normal levels die in one bullet. Heck, enemies at level 10,000 die at one bullet, so you get to find enemies that aren't going to instantly die to stack this up. Additionally, since nobody uses the Tiberon Prime, the ribbons are like 5 plat. I got this roll, damage multi-shot minus ammo, for 8 plat, and then I rolled with the rest and kept the roll I bought for 8 plat, so big waste to Kufa. But either way, dirt cheap ribbons. And yeah, so what we got here is just a bunch of crit. We also got Spectral Restoration on here for damage wall and Vis. Now the reason we're doing that is because we want to buff this thing to all we can. So we have Ivara on here with primary electric shards. Gain primary electric damage per purple shard you got. And then we also got 1 green shard for corrosive procs. You definitely don't need this. No armor strip needed at all. This thing can one-shot level 10,000 this build. But as far as the build, we have no elements on here besides our electric, and it allows us to hit very hard while invisible. Additionally, Ivara's abilities allow her to buff guns a lot to make this very strong. As far as how we're buffing guns, now, you don't need this. You can actually kill level 10,000 without this augment, but if you want to do the most damage possible, you can definitely throw this on there. So our first ability, Quiver, gives us critical damage. Our third ability, Prowl, gives us headshot multiplier, and Roar gives us a big damage buff. Arcane Crepuscular gives us more crit damage, and Worthy Camaraderie gives us even more crit chance. So as far as how this is going to work, just summon in some enemies and show it. So it says we have critical precision 350% right now. I'm going to go ahead and waste all the crit chance. Okay, looks like it might be a UI glitch here in the sim. Don't worry, it shouldn't be active. But basically, yeah, when you're using this in mission, you kind of like waste your crit chance really fast. So there we go, it fixed. So as you're there, 360%. But that if we miss our shots, we lose our crit chance buff instantly. So very easy to stack up when they're going to stay alive. So 130% crit chance right there. Looks like electric procs increase it over time as well. But then we can easily waste it. So that is going to be the thing, guys. The enemy level you're dealing with is going to be partially if you want to use this augment or not. But as you can see, it's doing pretty good damage on these guys when they are just standing there taking the damage. Again, these enemies are honestly kind of too easy to kill to even properly get the full damage on this thing. But let's just go ahead and throw in a couple more buffs here. So 16 million, we can jump with the dash wire. 41 million. So you can see, we can do some pretty good numbers. I'm not getting 2 billions on this thing because it's not really that kind of weapon. That being said, you technically probably could get it if you want to jam a little bit more. So as we now have our full buff, we have a 500% crit chance buff, only in the burst mode. You got Arcane Crepuscular giving us critical damage while invisible. And we've also got Spectral Restoration giving us a bunch of normal damage while invisible. And Tenacious Bond and Reinforced Bond. So we got lots of buffs externally to make this thing shine a little bit. So as you saw right there, it is pretty good single target damage, actually. You know, not exactly everyone's favorite, and it kind of feels like an Incarnon a little bit when it's not even because of that headshot reliance. So yeah, if you're looking for a primary rifle that could do some good precision damage, I'd say maybe give this a shot. Now let's go ahead and take off this Augment, because this Augment is way too focused on headshots. Let's talk about some replacements to that Augment. Now, if you want to use this thing, and you want red crit, so you can maybe go for a Galvanized Scope. It's like the same thing as the Augment, but it requires headshot kills. And also, you're allowed to miss with this and not lose all the buff instantly. So maybe Galvanized Scope if you got a little more mod drain. As far as the Riven can be easily replaced with like Vigilante Armaments, might even be better on the build. But yeah, just anything will do. I wouldn't recommend Fire Rate because it kills enemies in one bullet at level 10,000. So you don't really need Fire Rate, and also, you know, it reloads quite often too. So honestly, maybe Arcane Crux could be good too in the end. So at the end of the day, I think I'm going to throw the Augment back on here just because. But yeah, I do think that there's other mods that you could throw on there easily, because it's kind of an all-or-nothing Augment. So as far as Crux, this thing does reload pretty often. Let's go ahead and throw on Crux primary efficiency, and also going to be some status chance too. So since we have all this electric on here, we can get tons of electric procs with this. Let's see how this goes. So we can go ahead and summon them in. Okay, so lots of electric procs with Crux. We actually don't have to reload as much. So that's kind of nice. I didn't use Crux in the footage. I used Deadhead. But Crux feels pretty good too. You can actually fire a lot longer without having to reload. So maybe try that out too. So, and as far as other burst rifles are similar to this, the Kuba Hind is probably just better. It has a lot higher base damage, from what I recall, and it also has that built-in Kuba element too. So, what is the reason to actually use the Tiberon Prime at all? And the answer is, at least for as far as I'm concerned, it's nostalgia. The Tiberon Prime, look at how much those electric shards buff it. It's so much. The Tiberon Prime, I was super hyped for when it first got announced and released. I actually bought the Zephyr Prime Access because of the Tiberon Prime, not because of Zephyr or like the Cronin or whatever. So, yeah, I've been a big Tiberon Prime fan for a while, and I do think it actually does hold up pretty well. You know, you might be surprised to hear me say this, but as far as single target damage is concerned, it's pretty good. If you have an AoE and clear weapon like the Falcor or whatever on a build like this, that will be you're taking out all the enemies at the same time, and the Tiberon will be like one enemy at a time. If you're okay with that, like you want to have like a fully fledged loadout where it's like single target, multi-target procer or something like that, this is great. I actually was really enjoying using this thing, and I would say it's not actually the bottom of the barrel. Now, I am buffing it a lot, and of course, with all these enemies in this big area right here, it's not going to be able to take them out as quickly as you hope. That's where like AoE stuff will come into effect. So yeah, as long as you can accept that it's not AoE, I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah, but now that we've got that established, going forward, should you use this thing? No, you shouldn't, because not only will it never get an Incarnon, because it has 2 alt fire modes already, but it really, again, you could use Incarnons to get this similar effect. Like the Latron can kill these guys really, really easily with single target. Latron also has a fireball launcher and has built-in armor strip too, so it's just better than this. Actually, I was calling this thing the Latron a bunch on accident during the stream too. So yeah, it's forgettable. It's forgettable. But I would say if you have nostalgia for, you know, the olden times in Warframe when we didn't have Incarnons, we didn't have this, that, it's worth giving a shot at least. It's much stronger than I thought it would be. Although, like I said, I might be just buffing it a lot right now, and it's pretty much unusable beyond a crazy buffing build like this. It might have some more potential in disruption where the enemies are, or the Demolists are a little bit more tanky, but even at like this level, they're dying in one bullet. So, yeah, you can't really stack the Augment that well. And again, the Augment, a lot of times you're just running around with like a 100% crit chance of the Augment. It's not worth it. It's like worse than a normal mod when you don't have it stacked up, like right now. So, I would say maybe take off the Augment for like Hammer Shot or like something, maybe some Fire Rate or something like that. Maybe throw on Crux in the end, because Deadhead, again, they're dying in one bullet. Crux might be helpful to get, you're doing less damage, but you have more efficiency, so you can stack up your critical precision Augment faster. So, either way, guys, I'll see you next time. I'll see the video on the weekly reset tomorrow, Caliban Prime Access on Tuesday, and I appreciate all the support, guys. Let me know if you use the Tiberon, if anyone uses the Tiberon Prime still in 2025 in the comments down below. See you guys next time. Peace!